Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Lesbian Line. So today we have a bunch of different things going on. We liked different stories. So we're going to be hopping and popping around. It's all good. All right. So also, random thing about this particular episode, I did not read these stories first. I'm going in just as blind as you are. So these reactions are going to be authentic. They're going to be real. Okay. But before we get into the stories, I have to read the disclaimer as we do. Okay, so, hey everyone, just a quick heads up before we dive in. I'm not a medical professional or therapist. And another surprise, Kasima is back again with us. Okay, so while I may not be a medical professional or therapist.
Hello everyone. I'm pretty sure y'all have met me before. I've been on previous episodes here with Whitney. I'm Kasima, and I am a licensed professional art therapist, so I can comment on some of these topics that we have going on for today. I hope you'll enjoy them. I actually got the chance to pick them out myself.
Yes, we love that.
And I am no longer a guest on the show. I've made it to the theme song. I'm a regular, so you'll see my name in the credits.
This is all just commentary, conversation, and community. This whole project is inspired by my doctoral research, which is all about exploring how queer people learn, share, and reflect on relationships online. We'll be diving into queer stories found on social media like Reddit, Instagram, or stories you send into the Lesbian Line Reddit thread, which is available now. Everything we talk about will be linked below so you can read the original stories for yourself. Thanks for being here. And now, let's get on the Lesbian Line. Okay, so story 1. I'm scared I've set up too many boundaries that would make happy lesbian dating impossible. Okay, I have an initial thought, but let's read on. I thought what I wanted in a relationship was considered normal, but the more I hear about what's normalized in the lesbian dating community, the more I just don't think I'll ever date again in my life. Okay, don't lose faith, friend. Just, keep the faith. I think my first lesbian relationship shook me up so bad, relatable, that I've set up a lot of boundaries that might be impossible for anyone to meet. Okay, well, let's see what these standards are. Okay, too long didn't read. My standards are no long distance, similar age, not an avoidant or willing to work on avoidance, clear communicate feelings boundaries, has a job, ambition to get a job, a serious monogamous, committed long-term relationship, no situationship, no exploring your options. Okay, I'm going to hold my thoughts to the end. No contact with exes. This one is really serious because what is it with lesbians and keeping exes as a backup option or friends while dating? You need to be able to cut off an ex if you are committed to someone. There's no actual reason to keep talking to an ex. This is honey, if you're living in Lesbianville, okay?
Very common.
Yeah, expect the ex to be your neighbor.
I'm not in contact with any of my exes. That's been my experience. But if I have a person I'm with now, they have exes that are friends, and it doesn't bother me none. So it's like, because, they're with you. So if they wanted to be with that ex, they would be with the ex.
It depends. Yeah, it depends. We're gonna talk about that one.
Yeah.
And the last one doesn't need same interests, but just wanting me to engage with their interests and vice versa. I thought a lot of these were pretty standard, but I keep hearing about horror stories, and having lived through one myself, I think in this lifetime I will probably never be able to date again. Okay. Let me start off by saying that my list for the person that I was looking for was double as long.
But
yeah, we don't need to share the list with everyone.
An abridged version.
Yeah, it was a lot of this, but also certain characteristics that I wanted in my person that was double the amount of things.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do believe that you should have boundaries and you should have things that you want from your partner in your relationship. Don't go in with nothing, because then you pick up anything and you can't. No, that doesn't work. Trust me, it doesn't work. Now, the no long distance, that's understandable. It's really hard and expensive because we love to see each other. So the back and forth is a lot. I can understand why the no long distance. Similar age, yeah, age gaps are a problem, especially if it's someone that still has like teen at the end of their age and you're like 30 something. That's a problem. Age gaps are problems. Not an avoidant, yeah, I could see that. I don't see any problems with these. The only one I would see a problem with is the no exploring your options. In the beginning, of dating, at least in the first 90 days, you should be exploring your options. You should be dating multiple people, getting to know multiple people, seeing what you like, what you don't like, at least in those first 90 days. And then you can decide, hey, I want to be exclusive with you. I want to look into this further. I want to be with you. Or actually, we're not compatible. I don't want to be with you. You should not put all your eggs in one basket. Did I just say basket? Anyway, put all your eggs in one basket when dating. Like, no, I don't agree with that. In the first 90 days, it's getting to know the person, having fun, getting to know their personality, their history. How did they grow up? Where did they grow up? Are they religious? Are they political? Are they artistic? Can y'all go out together and have fun? Can you travel together and have fun? Are they good with money? Just all of those things. That first 90 days, like, you're figuring the things out. So after that, you could say, I want to explore things deeper with you, or, maybe we should be friends. Okay. That's what I think. Hi, kitty. Okay, so Kasima has a kitty. We're at Kasima's house today, and he is getting all caught up in the microphone wire, and it's so cute. It's so adorable. But anyway, side note. The other one that I have an issue with is the no contact with exes. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna just tell you straight up. We live in Lesbianville. We gonna keep an ex. Now, are we gonna keep all of them? No, all of them don't deserve a spot in your life going forward. But if you were friends before you got together and you just reverted to friends after, or if you found out you were better off as friends, or different situations, like, as long as they didn't harm you, as long as they didn't betray you, I don't see why you can't be friends. Now, is that to say that I'm trying to keep all my exes? No. There are exes that wanted to be friends with me that I didn't want to be friends with them. But I also have exes where we both decided, hey, we're good as friends. Like, we're okay as friends. So if you're dating me and then you're telling me, oh, it doesn't matter what the situation is, you can't be friends with your exes at all. Excuse me, ma'am, that's your trauma talking. Call your therapist.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It sounds a little bit controlling too, because it's like, at the end of the day, whoever I'm with, I can't tell them who and not to speak to.
Right. You don't have control over another adult person.
They ain't my child. Yeah. So that I definitely don't agree with. Even coming from, like, my personal, like, I don't have any exes that are friends, but they all ended badly. So, but yeah, so then there's the other thing she mentioned about the whole attachment thing, kind of the avoidant. That's my therapist talk coming in. Yeah. That's very interesting, because I feel like avoidant people tend to latch on to other avoidant people, or insecure attachments.
I feel like insecure and avoidant also go together a lot.
Exactly.
Because it's like, the closer you pull someone, the further back they want to go, which ends up being really hurtful and really unfair in the long term.
I feel like it's a very similar, it's a similar experience, I guess, with your, but I feel like what they did mention, the portion of being able to communicate with that person. So yeah, I agree with that. The communication is very important, but at the end of the day, you have your boundaries, you have your expectations when you are dating someone and what you're looking for. Now, I don't think everyone is going to mark all the boxes or meet all of those boundaries. So at some point, you're going to have to compromise, because
you do have to compromise. You are not everything, everything that somebody ordered. At the most, in the best scenario, you are 80%. So you cannot expect 100% from somebody.
You ain't getting that A plus. Expect a B plus or B minus.
Okay.
So, but that's all you're gonna get.
Right. And don't be an idiot trying to look out for the 20% and then being out here being a philanderer, messing up your good thing.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't think your list is extreme or impossible, but like maybe a couple adjustments. And definitely when it comes to like the not speaking to the ex, because then you come off as controlling and, maybe not wanting your partner to even hang out with other people.
Right.
So, and we don't want that.
Right. So it's learning how to be flexible, I think, because you got to be able to meet people halfway. I mean, I do agree that boundaries are important, but at the same time, you got to be flexible too. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's look and see what some of these comments had to say. Okay. See if they disagree with us or if they are of the same mind. Okay, first comment. These seem pretty standard. I don't think you're asking for too much. I had basically the same list except for the exes one when I was dating. But someone else says, yeah, mine is pretty similar to OP minus the ex thing. See?
It's a lesbian world.
Exactly, because we live in Lesbianville. Expect the ex to live across the street.
It's a small community too, so you can't really, and it's not a large dating pool, so you can't really expect a person that whoever you're dating maybe not to know someone that you may know.
Right, especially if you're talking about like people of substance, of like that are quality people, because the pool is like, let's say for like New York City, the pool is huge, but when you start taking out the people that, you know, will text you back, will actually stick to the plans you made, that actually have a fulfilling job, just all of the things that you want, like that pool gets real small. So
You ain't never lying.
okay, honey. Okay, someone else said same. I get why people wouldn't like their partner having contact with exes, and I respect that 100%, but that's just not my relationship style. I also think a healthy emphasis on healthy relationship with an ex is a green flag. I wouldn't go that far.
Well, okay, I've been learning about these green and red flags. One of the things that was mentioned, kind of what this person just said, like relationships with your family or previous exes, that actually is a green flag in the books, like how they communicate with previous partners and previous relationships, and they still have like a friendship even though the romantic relationship is over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with that, because I don't think it necessarily means that's a green flag, you know.
I think there's nothing wrong with this list. Keep your list. It could even be longer. If we're being honest, mine is definitely longer. Yeah, we maybe on a different episode after a glass of wine.
I want to hear it.
You know what? You never made a list?
Well, I think I did, like journaling, but nothing happened with that list.
Okay.
Nothing ever happened.
Well, when I made the list, I was like, okay, well, I'm not taking anybody seriously that is not at least 80% of this list. And it crossed off a lot of people. That's how, like, I ended up with the person I ended up with.
Oh, that's
I was
smart.
not playing. I was like, if this is not you, do not pass go. We're good.
So what did you do, like interviews at the initial date? Or?
Well, I started, like, because I was doing online dating. So I would start with their profile. If there was anything in your profile that went against what I said I wanted, we ain't even talking.
Okay.
Or like, let's say you got past the profile, now we're talking, now we're texting. If you said anything in those text messages that went against what I said I wanted, we're not even making it to a date.
So we got to talk about that on our future episode when it comes to online dating. So.
I don't know how curious y'all are about this list, but I guess if we get to 1 million, not 1 million, that's a lot. That's a lot. Because we got maybe like 20 listeners right now. So like maybe
20 people out here listening to us.
20 people.
Shoot, I hope they like my voice.
We love our good 20.
Yeah, 20 is a good number. I love it.
I bet they pretty too.
Thank y'all. Y'all can't see me, but you know.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Yeah.
But no, if we get to like 100, I think 100 is real cute.
That's a good number.
Yeah, if we get to 100 subscribers, then I'll share the list, because it's so catered to me and what I wanted and what was special to me.
I'd love to hear about that. Yeah.
So we'll keep that for the first 100 people. All right, so we're gonna go to the next story.
Okay, let's see what we got.
This one is short. It's short and sweet. Why do lesbian relationships move so quickly? Okay. It's all in the title, but I wonder why relationships between two women move so quickly. I remember that all of the relationships I've had, intense as they were, lasted less than 6 months, and I know that it's probably because there's less social pressure, or you would have to hide your emotions. In the sense that in a heterosexual relationship, the two people tend to move forward little by little, while we women have dates of 1 week. LOL. That's the truth, though. No lies detected.
Got a human polygraph over here, y'all.
Yo, okay. But no, why do we move so fast? Because we women are socialized to communicate. We communicate all the time. We talk all the time. We are not afraid to show emotions to each other. We laugh with each other. We cry with each other. We can be angry, vulnerable with each other, and we don't need time to like wear down into feeling comfortable with each other. I think that has a lot to do with it. What do you think, friend?
Okay, so yes, I agree with the whole emotional level, and obviously I feel like it's easier talking to the same sex versus the opposite gender, because you have more in common, physically, mentally, You know, we kind of function the same. We think the same. But my other thing with dating women, because in my experience, like, I've had very intense relationships. Like, those most intense relationships were like the shortest period of my life.
Yeah.
It was like less than a year. And you would think, and it felt like it lasted for years, but I felt like I was married for like 30 years. After you get out that relationship.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even move on.
Yeah.
And that was my most intense relationship. I was dating this person back in, I was in my 20s, like 2011, 2012, around that time. But I was living in Florida. I was working at a hospital as a telephone operator. You know, I got that voice. So, I was doing that per diem. Hooked up with this chick, and now I had known her from middle school. And we got into contact with each other, had a lot in common. We talk every day. And all of a sudden, I wound up moving to Jersey City. That was like within like the first 5-6 months of talking, you know, not even moved away. And then it didn't work out. Like, they cheated on me, and they got a new job, cheated on me with the person at the job, and that was that.
All right.
You know, with a dude no less, but we don't get into all that. But but it was very intense, and it felt very good at the beginning, middle. I mean, the ending sucked, but yeah, it was just so intense in the beginning, and you would think it would last, but it ran out. So that's the part I don't quite understand about lesbian relationships, because like, you can have these strong feelings, but then how do they just dissipate in such a short time?
I'm not sure. It's like the exact like science behind it, but I've realized that when it's intense, it's like a firecracker kind of love. We all know what happens with firecrackers. Yes, it's intense. It gets real hot real quickly, but then it's done, and it goes out just as quickly as it started. I feel like, depending on how you grew up, how much toxicity you had, like, you're used to things that are intense, things that are toxic. Like, you're going after the thing that is most comfortable for you and the thing that reminds you the most of, like, home. And if that's a toxic thing, you're going to go for the person that gives you that feeling, and you don't know what's going on with them. You call them, you don't know if they're up, down, to the side. Like, it's unpredictable. But the thing with unpredictable relationships is that, like, you can't live there permanently. It's a vacation spot. It's not like home.
Yeah, it's it won't last long. I guess it won't last like the long term, but it's good for like a short time in moderation. Like that, that good drink you have at your favorite spot. You know, you're going to pop in, pop out.
Yeah.
No more.
And then too, like, I feel like people don't want to acknowledge that healthy relationships, like, it's not like, healthy relationships are not like popping all the time. You're not going to have like hot and horny sex every night. If you're talking about spending your life with this person, you're getting comfortable with that person. You're easing into your life with them. So it's not going to be like a romantic date every weekend, or it's not going to be like a terrible argument and then equally as intense like bedtimes afterwards.
Like the angry sex.
Like, you're not going to do the breakup to makeup thing if you're trying to make a life with someone. Like, yeah, like, you're not going to like want to be in a boat on rapids for the next 50 years. You want somebody that is like smooth.
Steady.
Yeah, smooth, steady, consistent.
Occasional speed bump.
Yes, the occasional speed bump.
With the warning.
Right.
25 miles per hour, school zone.
Okay.
Got it.
Overall, like, you have one or they have the other. You guys are moving forward. A lot of people feel like that's boring, but it's not boring. It's a non-toxic relationship.
See, that you hit it right on the nose, Whitney, because it is, and I think I was having this conversation, I don't know if it was you or someone else, but like, it is this sense of like, people who come from like maybe a broken home or maybe tumultuous, where they have a lot of toxic relationships, like you mentioned. When you get into a relationship and there's no drama, where it's like there's a healthy response, like maybe the person is having like a reaction, or maybe they're irate, but the other partner isn't yelling or being negative or abusive, the other person take it as like, what's going on? Like, why am I not getting that reaction? Like, this is what I grew up around. Like, this is the norm. Like, I thought this is how everyone behaved.
Or it could give you a sense of being bored.
Exactly.
Because you're not getting that, that stress
Right.
every other day.
Those cortisones, you're not getting that reaction in your brain that you're used to receiving.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is kind of like it is a boring life. Like, it's healthy. You found your place, you found your home, you found your partner, and you guys kind of found a way to work things out. And honestly too, I feel like once you're in that relationship for like X amount of time, you do have to kind of plan these romantic evenings. You said, it's not going to be, I'm pissed off, let's do the deed.
Right.
No, it's like, okay, well, let's plan like, hey, let's plan.
You
like
have to be more intentional.
Dinner. Let's plan a dinner. Let's go do this. And then, hey, it may seem extreme. Some people make calendars, you might have to schedule those, special nights, whatever, but there's nothing wrong with that.
And I feel like sometimes people don't want to admit that sometimes you're with that toxic person because the sex is amazing. Guess what? Their sex is amazing because they don't have anything else to offer. That's why it's good. Okay?
They ain't got nothing else to offer with about cooking and cleaning.
Do that. Or like those crazy girls. You know what it's like dating a crazy girl. Of course the sex is amazing.
Don't even tell me about that.
But it's not... Like that, it's not going to last you a lifetime. When you're out here dating these people, at least like post 30, when you're thinking about like settling down with someone and starting a life with someone, you got to, everything that you're evaluating, is this going to work for me in the next 20 years? Next 25, next 30 years?
Sustain it mentally and physically, because it will wear and tear on you over time. And I feel like sometimes too, even myself, I feel like maybe in the past, Whitney can speak on it for me. Like, I've settled for people.
I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, Whitney's such a good friend. She don't be trying to tell me things, but she want me to see it for myself, which sometimes you have to. Because, like, people can tell you things, but you don't see it unless you wash them rose-colored glasses, clean that window. So, yeah, I felt like I was settling for a person that was really, like, tiring me out, stressing me out, wear and tear, and I just couldn't do it no more.
Yeah, part of loving your friends is letting them get there on their own and being there to support them when they get there. Like, yes, I may have finished the race before you, but I got an ice cold bottle of water for you because I was waiting for you. I knew you was gonna get here. That's love.
Thank you. Well, thank you. We're gonna have a Moscow Mule for me at the other end.
Yeah, that and some Aquafina after. That's how much we care. But yeah, that's that one. Yeah, but I think as you get more mature, like you realize, like, okay, if you're feeling like the relationship is moving quickly, pace yourself. Like, if you don't want the date to last a week, say, hey, I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. You have to maintain your own life. Like, no, girl, I can't stay here a week. I got clay making class. I got to work on this paper for school. I got to do my lesson plans for work. I got to go. But
that you time.
Yeah.
So,
but I loved hanging out with you, and I can't wait to see you next time.
Of course.
Pace yourself if that's a problem for you.
Exactly. Set those boundaries like we mentioned in the previous topic. There's nothing wrong with a boundary, and, they shouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go to the next story, last story of today. She thick a little. She a little thick. All right. Oh, I just read the title, y'all.
Yeah, y'all gonna want to hear this.
Y'all. Okay. Lesbian relationship. I walked in on my best friend and my fiance. I know you lying. No, you. Anyway, we gonna see what happened. Okay. Backstory. Sorry, so long. No, we love a good long story. Tell us everything. I need to know everything.
I want to see those double D's, them dirty details.
Yes, I am a lesbian. Okay, 32 female. All right, so they're in the 30 range. They got to start being serious.
Right.
And I was with my girlfriend for 3 years, 35 female. Okay, so the girlfriend is older. I moved in to her house after a year and a half of being together.
Okay, that's reasonable.
In lesbian time.
A year and a half? Is that too fast?
I mean, she could have moved in when they got married.
Okay.
I mean, that's just me. I was hesitant because I've always been independent. She pressured me for months, even after I lost my job. So at the time, it was a good convenience. Plus, I really did love her, even though there were some red flags with the way she treated me in front of friends and family. Okay. Well, I guess backwards, hindsight is 20/20.
Hey, then what are these red flags?
Yeah. I would always brush it off because her past relationships were controlling and abusive, so I gave her the benefit of the doubt. I was her first long lesbian relationship, and everything in me was saying no. But of course, at the time, my situation was blind with lovers' eyes, And she swore to me up and down it was our place and that she would never use that against me. She only dated men, excluding one gay relationship, for a year, and was even married to a man for 5 years. He was 20 years older than her. Another red flag, including still being best friends with her ex-daughter-in-law, who is the same age as her. Red flag. And this is her saying red flag, not even me. Yeah. So long story short, we were having problems in the relationship, so neither of us were getting what we wanted. I wanted to have spicy time more, and she was a bit of a prude when it came to the kind of spicy time that I wanted. I didn't get it, so I gamed more. Okay. I had a job, but she wanted me to get a better job because I wasn't doing enough, so she said, meaning she was beginning to doubt my worth, probably because I wasn't the breadwinner like she was used to. So in turn, we did have our problems, but nothing major enough to cause her actions. We had an argument about these things only 2 weeks prior to December 4th. This was our 3-year relationship, and I always said that I would never marry someone unless I was with them for 3 or more years. So she actually took that literally and proposed. Okay. I mean, why would you propose to someone after you didn't even resolve an argument you only had 2 weeks prior? Why would you propose to someone if you didn't love them? Why do it at all if you had doubts? You loved them the way they are. The night of the incident. Well, there was an incident. 3 months. I need to know. Okay. 3 months later, I'm with my best friend, 30 female. I've known since high school. A 17-year friendship. Oh, that's a good friendship. Me, her, and my fiance were all drinking together in the living room, playing some card game. We are getting pretty tipsy, and they start having a conversation about how hot having a personal trainer was. Nothing of it, just casual conversation. I excused myself to the bathroom, and the moment I closed barely the door, I didn't hear a peep coming from the next room. Finding this odd, I said to myself, no, it couldn't be. I leave the bathroom and I walk in on my fiance leaning over the back of the couch. I can't say that word. What word do I say? In contact with my friend's neck while I'm standing there just watching them. This moment will forever be burned into my memory. My so-called best friend is just sitting there audibly enjoying herself. I mean, if they were aiming for a 3-piece spicy, it was the crappiest way to try and get it. No one is loyal if you've known them for 3 years or even 17 years. Okay.
All right. Well, I have some words.
Say them.
First off, okay. Why would you get engaged to a person and y'all having all these problems, clearly? It sounded like they were already having problems. Mm-hmm. So why would you propose? It's just like with heterosexual couples, when they have problems in a relationship, they have a broken relationship, they decide to pop out another kid. Does not fix a broken relationship. It looks like this relationship was over weeks ago, maybe months ago, just based off what she was saying.
Yeah.
I don't even know how the best friend got involved in this. Like, I don't know if she was out in the background or she was texting this chick secretly. That just seemed real random.
This best friend has lost their space in heaven. There's somewhere else you can go.
That just boggled my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say.
I mean, my flappers are gassed. Because, no, I can't even take a bathroom break without y'all. Y'all, that wasn't the first time that happened.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Like, they would probably been in contact this whole time.
Like, y'all done got real comfortable with each other. Like, what you was going to do if she didn't come here with the hickey and now she leaving with the hickey? 2 + 2 = 4.
Yeah, you ain't going to play me for a fiddle.
Right. Like,
you going to play me, you can play your radio.
What I'm thinking is the best friend is making more money.
She seemed like a gold digger because her previous marriage was to someone that was like 20 years older, and she's used to a certain lifestyle.
She's used to having like disposable income, and I don't think she has that anymore.
She's more about the money than love. I think she marries for money and not love.
Yeah.
So
let's see what the comments have to say. I'm gonna see if I can find any that OP actually responded to.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sporty Lady says, dude, I am sorry. I've been there, sort of. My ex-best friend and my fiance at the time ended up cheating on me, and they got married. That was brutal. The signs for months were there, but I was constantly snowed and made to feel like I was crazy. Sorry for all of this, but I suggest that you cut them off hard, at least for now. You've had the signs about your fiance for a bit, and you should process all of that. My ex and I ended up dragging some things out, long story, but in the end, it just wasted our time. OP says, yes, it was the ultimate betrayal. Neither of them are a part of my life at this point in time. I'm just working on myself and finding the things that make me happy one day at a time.
That's good. Oh, I do have one more thing to say that I just thought of.
Go for it.
The OP did mention this thing, and I can relate to. They said they had this intuition or like this nagging feeling in the back of their head that something was off. And I've had that, I can say I've had that feeling twice in the relationships that I've had in the past, which one you already knew about.
Yeah.
And then the previous one, the chick I knew in Jersey City. But I always had this feeling. It's like this feeling in the back of your head that says like something is wrong. It's like this cloud that's constantly over your head. But you ignore it because you think like, you know what, this is going to work out. Yeah. It's like that feeling where you think you can change someone, right? And you think it's going to get better. But at the end of the day, y'all, the best advice I can give you, I'm not married or anything, but I can say always listen to your intuition, because I'm going to tell you 99.9% of the time, it is always correct. I won't say 100 because there's always that little 0.1%, but always listen to your intuition. It won't lead you astray. It definitely won't lead you astray, but...
All right, so that was our last story of the day. So now we are going to get into our queer suggestions, where we love to keep it queer in your books, movies, and TV shows. So our book that we are suggesting at this time is Cemetery Boys. Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas is a young adult urban fantasy following Yadriel, a trans Latin teen in East LA who accidentally summons the wrong ghost while trying to prove himself to his traditional Bruja family, stuck with the spirit of Julian Diaz, a charming, stubborn classmate who refuses to move on. The two are pulled into a mystery neither expected and into something even more complicated along the way. It's a funny, heartfelt, and magical read about identity, belonging, and the people who see you for who you truly are. Okay. I would read that. That sounds good.
Yeah, I love a good supernatural book.
Yeah. All right. The movie we're suggesting is an oldie but goodie. It's called But I'm a Cheerleader.
Classic.
It is a cult classic about Megan, a peppy cheerleader whose friends and family ship her off to a rehabilitation camp after suspecting she might be gay, something Megan is only just beginning to figure out herself. What unfolds is a funny, colorful, and surprisingly tender story about self-discovery, first love, and finding your people in the most unexpected places. I have not seen it yet, but Kasima has. So, you have any thoughts on it?
I recommend it. It's an old movie, y'all, but I say check it out for sure. Check it out.
And last but not least is our TV show suggestion, which is Yellow Jackets. It is a dark, gripping drama that follows a high school girls soccer team whose plane crashes in the remote wilderness in 1996. And the haunting question of what they did to survive. The show weaves between past and present, tracking both the girls' increasingly desperate time in the wild and their adult self decades later, still bound together by secrets they've never spoken aloud. Tense, mysterious, and deeply character-driven, it's the kind of show that gets under your skin and stays there.
Yes, it does, y'all. I've watched every season. I'm just gonna tell y'all now, don't get attached to anybody. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, I still have to watch it. I'll have to report back and we'll have to talk about it.
I don't want to reveal too much. I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but if you haven't watched it, but y'all should definitely watch it.
All right, so those are our queer suggestions for this episode. How did y'all like this episode? If you liked it, please do share and like and subscribe, okay? It helps more folks find us and keeps this space growing. Thanks for being here. Thanks for getting on the lesbian line with us. I will attach all of the links in the comment section below, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Ciao.
Bye.